'Tis the season on Comic Book Canada. That's right. It is that time of year where you're rushing to get your gifts. You're preparing your Christmas tree. You are celebrating the holidays with your friends and family. I just made that up off the fly. I'm so proud of myself. Chris would be very proud. Actually, let's just bring him in right now. You know, my partner in crime, co-host. Chris, that was awesome, wasn't it?
I should have brought the scorecard, the 10.0.
I mean, for real. Come on. I don't consider myself a freestyle rapper by any means, but geez, you guys are very lucky to have me. All of you people here watching today. We're happy to have you on a Sunday episode of Comic Book Canada. That is right. Chris had an amazing Whatnot sale on Friday night. Moved some books and had some fun. And that is great, and we are all for that. But speaking of Sunday, Chris, let's just remind everybody that the next two Sundays, Comic Book Canada will be live the next two Sundays. That's what we're going to remind them. Because
Sunday Fun Day.
Yeah, we're not going to do Christmas Eve. We're not going to do New Year's Eve. So our last show of the year will be next Sunday. And then our first show of the new year will be the following Sunday, I think on the 3rd. So the 26th and the 3rd. So keep that in mind. Mark it on your calendars. We'll remind you on the Instagram. We'll make sure that there's a card here, a placeholder saying when we'll be live next. So y'all will remember that. Chris, we have another reminder that it's our 1,000. We got our 1,000 sub contest coming up. We're very close. We're like 933. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody you know. We got some really cool books we're going to be giving away that were donated by a lot of really cool people, and we'll get that list to y'all a little bit later. Chris is he's left the show. He's done for tonight. Oh, no, he's not. He's here. That's good to know.
I'm just grabbing some goodies to show you guys some things that we're going to be giving away one way or the other.
Well, why don't we bring you full screen
on our road to
we missed that first one, Chris.
Yeah, man, we got some goodies here.
Beauties. I love that.
This isn't even everything. We got some more slabs to give away, guys. So I'm telling you, support, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Share. We appreciate you guys taking the time to share with your friends because we are so close. We've been itching for this for a long time now.
Yep,
so we really want to make it worth all of your guys' while. We got a lot of goodies to come. So yeah,
100%. Again, happy that you guys are here on a Sunday night to share, spend some time with us, especially during these, these holiday. It's holiday season. First off, before we get started, let's say hey to everybody. By the way, we will not spoil any We will talk Spider-Man No Way Home. We will not spoil it. Louis Logix, we hope you are you have a quick recovery. As you see here, he has COVID. He can't leave, but he is vaxxed, so that will fare well for you. Jordan Norrie, what's up? Caleb Leland, it's Jeff and Chris, just letting you know. This is our show together. We got issues. Serge Henderson, we got Roosevelt Cavazos. We also have, who else do we have? 360 in the house. Still went 362. Oh my gosh, he's got oh my gosh. Everybody, please get better. Please stay safe. This is crazy. Wait, we're not dropping the comics on the New Year? We'll be on the 3rd. We're not going to do it on New Year's Eve. Sorry. Ghost Junk, what is up? We got Raw Dog Comics. Keep it raw. What else? Lowbrow. We got there was also a question here if this is the Dark Knight Returns behind me. No, not the Dark Knight Returns. Anybody else have any guesses? Please continue. Bring them in. Bring those guesses in. All right, guys, we're just going to get started. Again, this is a spoiler-free reaction to y'all know what it is. Come on. Y'all know. It's Spider-Man No Way Home. Chris and I saw it this past weekend. Chris, we haven't discussed who's going to go first. You go first. Just do. What were your thoughts? Again, spoiler-free. Chris, let us know.
Man, well, it was amazing. The only thing I'll say about the movie, and this is not a spoiler, but it starts off obviously right where Far From Home ends, and you just get right into it. It just, it was almost like I never left the theater since 2019. But so from the moment it started, the movie was just go, go, go. This one had so much depth to it. A lot of just a big roller coaster of emotions. And I will say this, it is definitely one of my favorite MCU movies. It's up there. I haven't sat with it to actually rate it yet. I usually like to watch a movie twice. I might go see it with my parents because they want to go see it. I like to watch a movie twice before I actually put it in a numbering within where I rank it. I would say it's definitely top 5 for sure. Now, when you talk about just Spider-Man movies in general, I think this movie did something for Spider-Man that no other Spider-Man movie has ever done before. And that's all I can say about it without diving into the film and, talking spoilers and stuff. One other thing too, that, we obviously know that the next trilogy is upon us. 2 more years, they're going to be every 2 years. So I'm counting down the calendar days again, but the way that this film set things up to move into that next chapter in Peter Parker's life and Spider-Man's life, it's just so well done. There's so many little things that I wish I could talk about right now, but I won't. But I will hope, Jeff, I do want to, and I don't really do like movie reviews on my channel, but I want to do, it's not even going to be a movie review. It's just going to be more of why I think this movie is so important and what this film did that I think really has never been done before in its realm of things.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with, everything you said. I liked what you said, especially about where we're left off in the film. My concern about Spider-Man No Way Home going into it was going to be this big, epic Avengers threat level situation. And that's not the Spider-Man we all grew up with. He's more of a street hero, to be honest. I mean, he's the Marvel character, the most popular Marvel character. I think Miles is now going to give a run for the money too. That's the way they're positioning him, and that's a whole other subject. But that was my concern, was it was going to be this gigantic galaxy span or multiverse spanning epic, and it wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be. It was pretty big, but not this Avengers threat level. And it was actually the truest Spider-Man film I think I've seen. At the heart of things, what Spider-Man is,
yep,
the emotions he has to deal with as a human being,
yep,
and who he is and how he steps up when he has to. Yeah, and knows how to step up when he has to, and I thought that was really, it was really straight to the heart. I really it hit me right here, yep. And I really thoroughly enjoyed everything about it. It lives up to the hype and more, in my opinion. I don't want to overhype it for people, and they'll walk in and be like, "This sucks," but I can't say there's a lot going on. Oh, this movie's better than Endgame. I'm not going to say it's better. Chris, you and I, Spider-Man's my favorite character. Yours too. I'm not going to say this film was better than Endgame, but I will say it's definitely up there in my favorite MCU films. Yeah. I absolutely loved it. I loved what they did. I loved how they set things up going forward for Peter Parker. And I can't wait for other people to see it so we can start discussing things, the nitty gritty. So that's, that is our base level kind of reaction. I love seeing what you guys have put into the comments already. Would love to see more without any spoilers. Feel free. We'll keep the conversation going because we have more things to talk about with Spider-Man. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah. Lots of, you mean just in the news?
In the news, that's right, because Spider-Man No Way Home at the box office? Are you guys kidding me? Are you kidding me? I mean, we were expecting big numbers at the box office, but we were not expecting pre-COVID gigantic numbers that we were talking about, because we were talking, Homecoming as like 115 million opening weekend. No Way Home was 100 million. Guys, we're talking $253 million opening weekend for Spider-Man No Way Home. That is absolutely insane. In a good way, hopefully in a safe way as well. It is now the third highest grossing opening weekend debut ever, right behind Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War. No surprise here. Spider-Man 4 is now in active development. In other news, Chris, grass is green. Feige tells New York Times, Amy and I and Disney and Sony are talking about, yes, we're actively beginning to develop where the story head next. Which I only say outright because I don't want fans to go through any separation trauma like what happened after Far From Home. That will not be occurring this time. As we all remember, the whole rights drama where the contract expired and Sony's like, nope, we're taking Tom Holland and Spider-Man 2. No more MCU. And then that whole thing happened and it just exploded the internet. Feige's putting everybody to rest. They are in a good place. Sony and Marvel Studios, they are going to continue the relationship. It only makes sense. It benefits everybody. And they are going to continue producing Tom Holland Spider-Man films in the MCU, as we know, a trilogy coming up. Chris, that's exciting.
I cannot imagine what this movie would have done no COVID.
Oh, man.
I mean,
for real.
It blows my mind. Now, would it beat out Endgame, which I do, holds the number one spot still? I don't think so. But, it's number 3. I think it would have been number 2. And as a number 2, I think it would have been right close to the number 1. So pretty amazing. And yeah, look, Kevin Feige, like he said, he's letting us know that what we're seeing right now is beyond fruitful. And that's why I said just a few minutes ago, I'm back to counting down the days, until the next Spider-Man movie, because I am so I've never been this much. It's funny because you get the movie that we got in No Way Home, and it's up there, cream of the crop, but we still want more. We want more. We're even more hungry. So it's really awesome knowing that they can do that they can feed us and make us so full. We can eat the best meal, because even when you eat a good meal, sometimes you're like laid up and you're like, oh, I'm stuffed, I don't want. It's like it's endless, and we just want to keep eating it up and keep eating it up. So the fact that they came out right away and they're like, we're good. See you in 2 years.
Ah, man, it's great. It's fantastic. I can't wait to see where things go next. Again, so happy to say that, Feige, just reassured everybody. That's important. That's really important, because it's important. This character is important to a lot of people. They want to see this character developed in the right universe, the correct universe. You know what I mean? Not just a Spidey specific universe. We're talking the Marvel universe, and it's just super exciting. Chris, you and I could talk this whole episode about Spider-Man No Way Home, and we're happy to comment more and maybe even talk stuff that at the end of the show that people who haven't seen it can dip, and we can continue the conversation. It just blew me away. Dan De La Torre, you never have to apologize. He was on a Vancouver Comic Junkie show. Oh, cool, man. With Kamikaze, good friend. And we got Nerds Being Geeks in the house. Guys, we're moving on from the Spider-Man talk. We'll continue as it goes, but no spoilers. How about that? Okay. Chris, we got some DCEU news, dude. Yeah. What was that? What did I just do there? I don't know. I don't know, but you got it. Go for it, Chris.
Yeah, man. Warner Brothers making some changes with their DC properties. And they have announced that the Blue Beetle film is officially moving to theaters after originally being slated as an HBO Max release. The film is now set to release theatrically on August 18th, 2023. So just about, almost 9 months away. With this change, though, what is this going to mean for the Batgirl film? Again, which was is supposed to be an HBO Max release. Could it move that into the theaters as well? What I'm questioning about these moves is this due to possibly feeling underwhelmed by the success of the HBO VODs, or in this case, I'm calling them VODs, but you are getting them with the subscription, so you're not paying, but it's that straight to the on-demand type from your living room. I don't know. I don't have the numbers of what HBO Max has been doing. As we all know, they decided to release all their 2021 releases straight to HBO Max, with the ability for you to still go see them, in the theaters with the theatrical release as well. If they're doing that, this could be something that may be not so much good news if you look at the underlying reasons of why they're doing these things. It could also be the execs sitting around saying, look, we're seeing what the industry is doing right now, and what the theatrical release market is bringing in with COVID and us being almost 2 years deep into this thing. Maybe they're seeing the box office numbers are up and they're saying, okay, we feel more comfortable that we can put these in theaters now and hopefully have them be more successful as theatrical releases. So I don't know. So I don't, Jeff, I don't know about you. I don't necessarily look at this as a good thing or a negative thing. It makes me really wonder what their thought process is behind it.
First up, want to address a question here. 360. It's going to be they're saying August 18th, 2023. So they haven't even started shooting this at all, but they have announced the dude from Cobra Kai. I can't remember his name. He's the lead. Here's the deal. Like, there's a few factors into this. Warner Brothers made the call early this year saying that all of their releases will be in theaters and on HBO Max, but only for this year. Moving forward, they're going to move on. Granted, they are producing content specifically for HBO Max, that being the Batgirl movie, that being this Blue Beetle film. Now, with that being said, it's interesting to see all the buzz and all the excitement surrounded with No Way Home. We're going back to that again, but that kind of has a direct correlation into execs' mindset. Like, theaters are still going to be buzzing. Audiences are still going to want to see these characters on the big screen, and that helps make a decision like this. I'm the same way. I actually miss being in a theater watching this film, because watching it, Spider-Man No Way Home, hearing everybody just clap at those moments, everybody gasping at those moments, everybody just experiencing it the same way. I want to do that with all of these films. I want to do it with every film. It was. I missed that so much, and I didn't realize how much I missed it. And it was amazing. I didn't get that with Shang-Chi. I didn't get that with the Eternals. I got that with No Way Home. And hopefully we'll get something like this with Blue Beetle too. So that's what I think the rationale is. Obviously, there's more dollar signs that are involved with this being a theatrical release before it hits HBO Max, which it always will. So yeah, that's how I see it. I'm all for it. I'll support it. I'll see this in the theater, no doubt about that. Yep. I completely see the rationale behind it and why they're doing it. I don't think there's any kind of wishy-washiness with them, like we always accuse them of. I think this is a good plan. I absolutely think this is a good plan. Yep. So that being said, oh, sorry, you have one more thought?
I was just gonna say, for me, I think.
Look, Mark Lennocker, by the way. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. I've been paying the $14.99 a month for HBO Max, and I'm not impressed. I'm not. And while a Blue Beetle and a Batgirl film and Green Lantern's TV show, I mean, a lot of these upcoming things could allow me to probably keep my subscription. I still would rather pay money to go see them in the theater for sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, HBO Max is a lot of the original series outside of superhero or what have you. I'm really enjoying a lot of this, and we just were talking about Sex and the City before the show, weren't we? You're a diehard Sex and the City fan.
Yeah. I mean, I live and breathe it.
Listen, that'll be our next show is diehard Sex and the City. No, we're not going to do that. Moving on, though. Actually, one more question here, sir. You guys think that they've seen all the numbers now for Marvel, and they think that they're missing? They've always seen those numbers, Serge. They've always seen those numbers. They just haven't executed, and they haven't produced as many good films as Marvel Studios has. That's the issue right there. Moving on, though, guys, we're going to have another reaction segment right here, but there are going to be no spoilers, and that is Hawkeye, Episode 5. Holy cannoli, Chris. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love where this series is going. I'm loving this grounded type of series. I hope this is where we see a Spider-Man, like how Spider-Man will be. Grounded, kind of gritty superhero action in the streets, because this is in the streets. This is action. This has got so many plots. You don't know where it's going, but you love where it's heading. And you can absolutely say this about Episode 5. The humor is still there. The character development is still there. There was actually less humor, more kind of like what are motivating these people situations. And I absolutely loved it. Chris, your thoughts on Hawkeye Episode 5?
This takes me back to making the statement that Kevin Feige is a chess player.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy knows his move 20 steps ahead of everyone else. And again, I got to be careful with what I'm saying because even talking about this but this goes out to everyone,
I know where you're trying to go.
Yeah,
to avoid.
Remember Endgame comes out and they're like, the MCU was dead after Endgame, and
oh god, come on,
nobody cares about all these new characters, and then I'm not even going to get into the other crap, but I am telling you right now, and I'm not saying anything is ever going to replace Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man or anything is ever going to replace, Chris Evans, Captain America. But it's not about replacing the old. It's about continuing with the new. And I'm telling you right now, Kevin Feige still has it. He still knows what he's doing. And I'm telling you, for some of these characters, we ain't even seen the deep waters yet. We've seen the tip of the iceberg with some of the characters we've already seen.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about everything that we haven't seen and that's coming. So I know you asked about Hawkeye episode 5, and I'm just like bringing in the whole buffet. But that's, from talking about Spider-Man from No Way Home, another amazing episode from Hawkeye that just threw more onto the table here. And it's like, that's where my head goes. Kevin Feige is just freaking, don't tell him he's done, because he'll freaking whip out a can of kick ass and surprise you even more. And that's how I'm feeling about all this stuff right now, man.
You said that Kevin Feige knows he's 20 steps ahead, right? You know why he knows he's 20 steps ahead? Because he knows the audience, right? He is the audience. He is this kid that was growing up in the 80s reading these comic books like we were. He knows what gets us riled up because it gets him riled up. And that's the perfect person to have in charge and have an understanding of how to create proper stories, how to create stories that just, create emotion for you, the nostalgia factor, but also building these characters in an adult world now that you are an adult. So, man, it's just so good. I'm so psyched. I'm a little disappointed that this week is the last week of Hawkeye.
Yeah, I know.
But it's gonna, whoo! I can't wait to see where it goes, because as Casey Westrope says, that's end scene in Hawkeye opens up a lot of doors.
Yep.
We're talking a lot of gritty, street level superhero doors. Hell yeah, I'm all about that. Yep. Absolutely. All right, there.
We are gonna talk next week because, and I'm not stating anything until I see the whole show and I see the last episode. But when you talk about best Disney Plus MCU show so far, this one is definitely like I like I said, I can't make a decision, but it's right there. Ready to take the top spot, depending on what we see next week or this coming week.
It sounds like 360 had issues with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I've thought every series they have released has been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah,
and it's hard I'm not going to rank them because I love them all just because they're all so different. Like you can't compare WandaVision to a Hawkeye. There's no way. They're completely different types of shows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I only have one child. Actually, you have 2 children. And it's like trying to say which one you love more, right?
Yeah, right. I will say, maybe, I did feel that Falcon and Winter Soldier had some moments, but I some not good moments. I mean, moments with a little bit of question mark for me. But I think it was some of the flow sometimes, and I felt like I think we talked about this back then. Some of the score I felt didn't fit in the moment with certain things. And I don't know, because we know that out of any of the movies and shows, Falcon and Winter Soldier was the one that got hit when COVID hit. And it got shut down. They had to move from, where were they? I think they were in Europe, and they had to go to South America. Yeah. And there was a lot going on. So I will say, I'm going to give Falcon and Winter Soldier the benefit of the doubt that I think when it came to just the filming and in the scenes and the editing and trying to put it all together and make it cohesive, maybe there were some things that kind of got in the way. But I'll tell you this, that outside of that, though, to your point, Jeff, the series as a whole was so good, and it was still it had such deep connotations there. And those last couple of episodes, man, were so emotional. So I'm with you. At the end of the day, it is very, very hard to rank them, even if maybe there may have been a small issue here or there, it's still MCU doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, Comic Noob, I can see a movie being set up with all these Disney Plus characters. You will. All of these characters are going to translate back into the films. I mean, you have Sam Wilson's Captain America is the next Captain America film, which is Captain America 4. WandaVision is going to be in the we've already seen Wanda in a variety of films. All of these characters are going to, that's what they're setting them up. They're going to be on the smaller screen, but they're also going to be on the big screen. So get ready for this. It's just, God, we are so spoiled, guys. We are so spoiled, and they all are great. They're fantastic, Caleb. I don't know what to say. But I will say this. That ends the news, guys. The news is starting to slow down as the year winds down, as No Way Home comes out, and then it's going to kick back into high gear starting next year. But we do a segment each and every week, Chris, and it's one of those things that, you may be tired now. You just had a yawn, but by the end of it, you are going to be punching holes in your wall because you're super psyched. What is that? What is that segment we do?
Fresh from the comic shop.
That's right. Fresh from the comic shop, live from the press and salon. This is where we ask you, the audience, to send us your fresh gets each and every week, and we'll show them off on this segment. Not only that, you're going to be able to win prizes, which we'll get to in a hot sec. But fresh from the comic shop, these books can be 2 days old. They can be 4 decades old. As long as they're new in your collection, we want to see them. We want to hear about them. We want you to show them to us. That is right. You send them what? We'll get into a sec right there, Chris, because that's the December book that they're going to win. Basically, send us your books on the Instagram. Chris, you do a better job explaining. Just go for it. Actually, I'm treading into your territory. All
right, guys. So yeah, we have this is the last semifinal for this month, right, Jeff?
It is indeed, because the semifinalist from this week goes up against Super Rad Comics.
Yep. So for this month, folks, it is a beautiful 9.8 Origins #1 from Boom Studios. A beautiful Glass Cabinet Hobbies exclusive variant. Zoe Thorogood art. It's just, that's a beautiful, beautiful cover. So what you need to do in order to enter this month is follow Glass Cabinet Hobbies right there on Instagram. Give them a follow there, and also check out their website, Glass Cabinet Hobbies.
Down below.
.com. Link is below. All you need to do there is sign up with your email for their newsletter, and that's all you got to do. So when you're entering in your fresh get, of course, make sure you got the gram. Make sure you have an IG account. You want to take a picture, post it to your Instagram. Make sure you tag us at Comic Book Canon and leave the hashtag FFTCS. And of course, criteria, you want to have a good presentation, a good, nice, clean lighting or some awesome setup going on. Get snazzy with the guys. Get creative. The book itself, it doesn't have to be a book that's worth thousands of dollars. Maybe it's unique. Maybe it's unique to you and you got a story to tell. So tell that story about why that book is so awesome and important to you. And what am I missing?
That's it. You hit it. You hit all the presentation. Just send us a well-composed shot. Nice lighting. Get creative with that. We have a really creative one this week.
Oh, yeah.
Unique. It could be a unique book, but as Chris said, it doesn't have to be thousands of dollars. It could be a unique, rare book in other ways, or it could be unique to you in some way. And that leads us to the third piece of criteria, the story. We want to hear a story behind it. What does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? Those stories have gone a long way with Chris and I. So yeah, here we go though. We're just going to get right into it, right? Oh, by the way, don't forget to follow us at Comic Book Canon on the Instagram as well. We'll be able to see your entries there. Also, don't forget to subscribe. 1,000 sub giveaway coming up. We were at 933 last we checked. So yeah, why don't we just do that? Anyways, Chris, we're just going to dive right into Fresh from the Comic Shop with Super Crispy Comics. Dang, forgot to post my Fresh from the Comic Shop this week. Well, here it is. Marvel Zombies one-shot with a freaking cool killer cover with Cyclops holding his head, shooting a blast. So cool. He sent this in after the show last week. Super Crispy, we ain't mad at you. We just got here. That is a very cool cover. And look at the little I don't know. Is that a Wolverine Pop Mini? I don't know what's going on there. And I'm not liking how we can still see each other.
I know.
I hate that. We gotta talk to somebody here at StreamYard. All right, moving on. We got Die-Cast Cook. Look at this. Look at these gets, man. Nice. I'm loving that Batman. What is it? Shit. What number is that? Like 1018 or something like that.
118.
Or 118. Jesus Christ. Detectives in the head. 118. It's an homage to Spider-Man #1, Todd McFarlane. What else he got there? He's got a variety of Batman books. Oh, the Swamp Thing run there. Oh, Batman 89 with that new Robin. Good stuff, Die-Cast Cook. Good stuff indeed. Into Oblivion, former winner here. So was Super Crispy Comics, by the way. Into Oblivion again with Batman 118, first cameo appearance of Abyss, Todd McFarlane, 1990 Spider-Man #1 homage variant. I really do like this though. This cover's really freaking cool. It says a new collector's item issue with a question mark at top. That's fun. DC being fun. Moving on. E. Marvell. This guy always, guys, we're talking well-composed shot. He always sends in a well-composed shot. Always. His lighting is on par. It's on point as well. The Hulk number 2, Donny Cates, Ryan Otley, the 1 in 25. I'm so pumped about this run. When you split Banner and Hulk psychologically, and split they do in a way you've probably not seen before, Banner turns out to be possibly as reckless and dangerous as the Hulk. I read the first issue, Chris. I told everybody here I wasn't that into it. I should buy the second issue and see how that goes. Actually, Into Oblivion. You can let us know what you think about that second issue as well. Chris, what is your first fresh get of the week?
All right, something fun and unique for you guys. I'll give you a little.
Here we go.
Is Mark in the house, Tom? I think Mark Lennocker is here tonight.
Mark Lennocker has commented on something.
So he likes some old goodies, and I got some Golden Age Woody. A lot of light on that. Woody Woodpecker. There we go.
That is nice there.
From 1950.
That is beautiful. Chris, what is your oldest book?
It used to be a Porky Pig from 1946.
Okay.
But that was a while. I haven't checked because I know I got some more. I do have some Golden Age DC stuff now. Believe it or not, I don't have any Golden Age Marvel, but I know my Golden Age DC isn't as old as that. My Golden Age DC stuff is early 50s, but I've gotten a lot more. I even have some right here, like some Porky Pig stuff and some old Dell stuff that might be before 46, but I know at least I have that one from 1940.
Well, that right there is a great pickup, a nice Golden Age book, and Mark Lennocker probably he's got to be jealous. Let us know what you think in the comments, Mark. Moving on, though, we have Son of Comics with Ultimates #1, first appearance of Io and Anika. I had to add this to my Blue Marvel collection. Blue Marvel is the #1 slept-on hero in all of comics. What a shame. This book is definitely in blue water, and it's certified Red Hulk. As you all know, that's the only way that he certifies his books as a passing grade. But yeah, he's right. Blue Marvel, I remember, like, I guess at the top of the start of the pandemic, Blue Marvel was hot shit. Everybody's speculating he's going to make his way into the MCU. That hasn't happened yet, but it's a great story, and those books are low print run, high demand. Chris, those are hard to find books right there, and they're they are the ones that you can find on eBay or what have you. That's a pretty penny.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's interesting because he says they're slept on, and I don't necessarily disagree with them, but those books there's still a demand for those books because of the value that they're holding right now. So
I'm not sure that, maybe he's talking about in terms of being slept on. Maybe he's talking that there hasn't been much heat or talk about it recently. Everybody's speculating Blue Marvel was going to be the engineer in WandaVision. That never came to be either. Yep. So, after that was like the last rumor I remember hearing. The talk has kind of died down, so maybe that's what he's talking about. The heat wasn't as much as it was probably like a year ago. But those Blue Marvel books are again, they're pretty hot and In demand and expensive. Mark Lennocker does have a question for your book, Chris. Is that a 4-color? Cover had light reflection. The Woody Woodpecker.
Is it a
4-color book?
4-color book?
Yeah, meaning basically does it just utilize 4 colors?
Like the CMYK?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's from 1950, 52 page, Woody Woodpecker 305.
We're gonna have to look into
So
that.
I don't know if there was different color print processing back in the day. Is that what might be?
I'm not sure, Mark. You're gonna have to let us know, man. You're the expert with these Golden Age books.
Yeah.
He said no 4-color comics. I guess maybe that's the brand. I don't know.
Oh, no, it says Dell. If that's a, yeah. You know what I found?
He's probably going crazy wanting to punch the computer because we're.
One thing too, it didn't have these books didn't have any ads in them, and the only little ads were little shorts, were other Woody Woodpecker shorts.
Oh, that's really that's
very interesting.
That's a nice pickup right there. By the way, wanted 360, found a Blue Marvel #4 in a $1 bin.
Nice.
That is a nice find. That is a nice find. All right, moving on to other nice finds. We have Marvel Man 616 comics with Secret Wars #3, the first of the second Titania. Mary McPherson, second print. The character Titania is confirmed to appear in the new She-Hulk series. She absolutely is. That is a great pickup. That book is only going to get hotter as we get further along and closer along to She-Hulk. Next up, Comic Noob. What do we got, Comic Noob? Sinister Six. Can't wait for No Way Home. I mean, that's pretty badass. I think we can absolutely no spoilers here, but I think everybody knows that Kraven is not in it. Just letting y'all know. I didn't spoil shit. I swear. That's all I'll say. Moving on, we got Sicilian Comics. What do we got, Sicilian Comics? Captain Marvel #27. First full appearance of Eros. By the way, I think the cameo is in Iron Man 55. Is it 55? I have it up on the wall. I can't remember. First full appearance of Eros, second appearance of Drax, and third appearance of Thanos. Good stuff, Sicilian Comics. Good stuff indeed. And we got Bobzilla. Mail Call Monday. These covers are beautiful, by the way. Mail Call Monday. 9 months later, this finally arrives. In my opinion, it's the best Gwenom and my favorite Inhyuk Lee cover to date. I have another one with a custom Carnage label thanks to Comics Connect Plus. A raw trade MJ Carnage as well. And I think I want it slabbed with a custom Venom label as a set. What do you think? I think that'd look really slick. Maybe EGS too, right, Chris?
Yep.
But that cover is just outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. You know what's outstanding? I had some decent pickups this week. I'm going to start with the less outstanding of them all. One of them is an ode to you, Chris. That's right. It's an homage of you. That's right, guys. I'm psyched about this series. No Good Comics, a.k.a. Justin, has said nothing but great things. I have issue #4 of Primordial. I have not read one issue, but I am super psyched because I do like Jeff Lemire, and I can't wait to read. Maybe, I'll just sit down and read them all and knock them all out. So that right there, guys, is my first fresh get of the week. Primordial #4. I dig this cover as well. Space Monkey. Space Monkey. All right. Moving on. Oh, Mark Lennocker has more. He says he can confirm that is a 4-color comics. He says that Woody usually appears in new fundings from the 40s and 50s, but Chris has a 4-color comics. Both titles were Dell titles. Is that more desirable, Mark, in terms of collectability? Give us some more information. I'm enjoying this. Tommy Fleming. What's happening? Hope you and April are doing well. We love you. Moving on. We got Matt Stadge. He's not in the house. He said he couldn't make it today. He said he could not make it. That's all good. I love this book, guys. Just got this in 9.8 in the mail today. I very rarely buy this spec on, but with the price of this book right now, might not be a bad bet. I agree. I would encourage you guys to check out these characters. Again, they are opening up to all regions of the world in terms of representation of these characters. And, with the success of Shang-Chi, this opens up Agents of Atlas, and I'm psyched for it. Jimmy Woo, Chris, I hope we see more of him outside of WandaVision. I would probably see him in the Marvels, but shit, maybe he could lead Agents of Atlas too. I think that would be fantastic.
That's a good idea.
It'd be great. It'd be awesome. I love the actor. Why can I not remember his name? Anyways, he's great. Moving on, we got Comic Demon, one of my favorite covers of Emma Frost done by Megan Hetrick. Whenever this Comic Demon comes across a sick-looking White Queen cover, it always joins the horde. That is a gorgeous cover. I like how he's put this. Again, guys, this is well thought out. This picture right here by Comic Demon. He's putting it on that nice, comfortable blanket, maybe. Nice, fuzzy, furry blanket. And, you know, we all know Emma Frost is nice to look at as well. That is a fact. You know what else is a fact, Chris? Vinny Whitlock delivering his books each and every week. This guy knocks it out the park. First cover appearance of Doctor Strange, Strange Tales 118. He estimates this grade at a 6 to 6.5. It's an awesome book. That is absolutely an awesome book. More Strange is coming our way, people. More Strange, and he was great in Spider-Man No Way Home. That's one thing we didn't mention, Chris. You know, Doctor Strange at all. We didn't mention him at all because. Well, I don't want to say. I mean, it's no spoiler, but there's just so much going on. So much going on. Chris, what do you got going on with your second fresh get of the week? What is it?
All right, a new pickup, new release. I'm going to take it out of the bag. I'm really loving what DC is doing with their Black Label stuff. In the oversized,
yes, me too.
Comics. This is Wonder Woman, Historia, the Amazons. I haven't read it yet. I actually read the first page and looked through a couple of the pages, and the art is just absolutely freaking. I wanted to show you guys. It is just so beautiful and brilliant. And I mean, look, I don't know. I don't want to open it too much because you know that's the square bound spine, but the art is just freaking beautiful, and something about just the oversized comics, magazine size comics. I'm loving them. So I can't wait to read this. But see, this is, I give credit, you know, a lot of people, you know, over the last, couple years when they announced that they were cutting those titles and, oh, you know, they don't know what they're doing. And they were letting go of all those people. You know, and trimming the fat. And I said, look, guys, quality over quantity. And I have faith, at least in the comic line, and then really working some things out to give us quality over quantity. And I think there's a lot of things at play here with DC that's showing and proving that. So
100%. Chris, I was at my comic shop, and I almost picked up those oversized Superman versus Lobo. He had all of the old books from the past couple months. Like if I picked 20 out, they were $1 each. That was included, the oversized ones. I was like, I can't pick out 20 here. I just don't have the space. But I would have picked those up. Those really stuck out to me, and that's a beautiful looking book. Also, the history of the DC universe. Really, really nice books to have right there. Absolutely. Next up, Chris. Who do we got? Good friend of the show. He's also a guest co-host alumnus. That's right. Nerds Being Geeks. Now, would you all check this out? Would you all check this out, please? Chris, what do we say? One of the criteria here.
Wow.
A well-composed shot.
Wow.
My gosh, there are so many good things going on here. The way these first of all, we'll get to the book in a sec, but the way these characters are set up, the lighting in the background, look at how that hue of light right there. Just gorgeous. Nerds Being Geek. Absolutely. Now, as he says, Amazing Spider-Man Annual 1, written by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee with art by Steve Ditko. The first appearance of the Sinister Six, fresh back from CBCS. This 1.8 beauty took about 7 to 8 months. Jeez Louise. To get back to me with the arrival of the Sinister Six and the Far From Home movie, this book came back at the absolute perfect time. Guys, follow Nerds Being Geeks down below. His YouTube channel is there. But guys, this is what we're talking about right here. Well, just an outstanding shot. Well done. Absolutely. We got a question here. Is this live? And I'm wondering if this is a trick question. because it is live. And let us know how we can prove it to you. We'll do that for you. So, make Chris do the Cabbage Patch or something like that. He'll do it.
Or it's a glitch in the Matrix.
Or, right, because that Matrix is coming out next week, too. Think about that. Blue pill or red. Moving on. Who do we got? Cover Junkie. Louis Logix. Guys, everybody wish him a speedy recovery. Him and 360 both came down with COVID. They're here with us today, so that's good. We like hearing that. But Cover Junkie Comics, aka Louis Logix, fresh from the comics. Oh, he loves Doom, by the way. We should all get that out of the way. We know that. Fresh from the comic shop, or should I say my mailbox, got this sweet Venomized Doom book from eBay, a platform about to see some extra business because my partner in crime has COVID. Oh, I guess that made it way over to you. We are stuck in the house for the next 10 days, but oh well, guess it's time to get caught up on my reading and organizing. Definitely can't wait for Friday's Comic Book Canon show, which is Sunday. And Journo's live sales. Let's see Spider-Man. Now I got to wait. At least I have the canon to look forward to. I didn't read this whole message, so if I had, I would have known that you had COVID before the show. Again, we really, really wish you a speedy recovery right there. But that's another great Doom book, another great Doom setup. All right, moving on. Good friend of the show, April X Visions. These 7 superheroes are in the running to be the bride of an unborn god entirely against their wills. Had to pick this one up to see how these bad babes kick ass. I remember this Atlantis Attacks. I used to love these annual kind of these annual events back in the day. So much fun. Atlantis Attacks. Same thing here. I do believe that's a John Byrne cover. He may have done the interior art as well. I love me some John Byrne. What do we got here? What's going on? Miguel, you never have to apologize for being late. And let us know what you think. Thought about No Way Home. We covered it at the top of the show, but no spoilers. Sing a song. Jay, you're going to have to get better than that. Travis Tubbs giving Twist and Shout. Now shake it up, baby. Now shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, baby now. Come on.
Oh, my goodness.
Work it on out. That's all you'll get, Jay.
All right. I think we were officially cut off air now. After
Oh, no. It's all good because it's so unrecognizable. We won't get hit for any kind of licensing issues. We are good. You know who's good? Tommy. April's husband is good too. Look at this guy. Look at him proudly presenting his fresh gets right here. My first CGC submission, which took 6 months. By the way, Tommy, you have the best return on your CGC than everybody else here. So if you're complaining, don't. It took 6 months, but finally came in. I'm happy with what I got. X-Men 120, 8.5. First appearance of Alpha Flight. I love that book too, by the way. Chris, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I really like that book.
Yeah.
9.8 Deadpool #1 and Venom 1 in a 9.6 newsstand. Now I need to send in a bunch. And you're gonna have to wait. All right. Chris, my second fresh get of the week has been a hard to find book, and I didn't even know my local comic book shop was going to save one for me. Our good friends from Bad Idea, Odin's Eye #1. I got a copy. I was so surprised to see this. Apparently, the print runs around $2,500. These are going for like $50 to $70 on eBay.
I'm very, very pissed because
this artwork. These guys, Bad Idea produces some great comics. They get a lot of shit. And a lot of it's deservingly so because they do some crazy things. But my God, these books, Chris, I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying?
Yeah, no. Things from another. So remember when they announced the Final 5?
Yeah, this was
the
last of the Final 5.
I secured my pre-order with Things from Another World.
Yeah,
I got none of them.
You got none of those Final 5?
No, and something I don't know what happened. And they ended up because I put the order in and I got receipt of my order, but you know how they don't charge you until they process the order. So by the time they were all processing, there was no order and no payment pushed through.
You said this is Things from Another World?
Yep.
They've been having a lot of issues lately. A lot of issues. You know, I was a big fan of theirs, but I've been getting a lot of books. I've not been getting any books like your situation here. I've also gotten a lot of damaged books, and I think I covered that a few weeks ago in a show. But yeah, Yeah, I feel you, man. I'd be frustrated as hell. I'm surprised I got that book. I think I did say I want all Bad Idea books because I really dig what they're doing. So, but yeah. That's a good question from 360 Comics that we'll hit up after Fresh from the Comic Shop. This is a very casual, kind of holiday spirited show. No guests, so we don't have to adhere to any rules and kick them off, as 360 was kicked off quite a few times. But anyways, all right, moving on. Chris, what do we got? We got good friend of the show and Canadian, and also a guest co-host, an alumnus as well. We got Comic Ozzy. Look at this, guys. This one is going to get hot again with Peacemaker coming out next month, flying under the radar with all the Spidey hype, along with me. But James Gunn has given us a peek into the Vigilante. Here's the first appearance and first ongoing title series. That's a great pickup. I really like this stuff. Look at that. I think that's George Perez work right there on that annual, that Teen Titans annual, which is the first appearance of Vigilante. I like this book. Good stuff. Comic Ozzy. You know who always has good stuff and knows his shit? Mark Lennocker, people. Mark Lennocker. DC Comics published an issue of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer every December from 1950 to 1962. These are issues 1, my first bona fide DC Golden Age book, and issue 10. The cover story from the North Pole is that Robert May, a copywriter for Montgomery Ward, created Rudolph in 1939 as a children's giveaway. In 1949, May's brother-in-law, Johnny Marks, wrote a song sung by Gene Autry, and well, he went down in his story. He literally wrote that.
That's good history, man. I never knew that.
Incredible history, yeah. But I don't know what you're talking about. Rudolph has always been around because Santa's always been around, and I just saw him drive down my street like an hour ago. I'm not bullshitting you, literally. It was great. So no, Mark Lennocker, you're incredible. Just have to say that. We truly appreciate you. Moving on, we got AZ Mailman 211 under the Christmas tree this year is my submission from this week's Fresh from the Comic Shop, which is 7 of the 12 issues from Dynamite Comics Voltron run from 2012, including the Alex Ross variant to number 1, where the Master does his rendition of the iconic pose from the 84 cartoon series. Look at that, the middle rate. I just love it. Alex Ross touching anything is fantastic, but these Voltron covers, so good. And I cannot help but get that theme song in my head. Here I go again. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
I'm not going to continue with that. I'll leave that alone. Next up, we got Raw Dog Comics. Bounty Hunters 18 and Star Wars 19 are minty fresh from the comic shop. Being a child at heart, I picked up this Boba Fett action figure for $10 at the dollar store. Hell yes, brothers and sisters, have a great weekend. I like that Star Wars 19 cover right there. I'm pretty sure that's the Mandalorian though, Chris. I don't think that's Boba Fett, but it's still a sweet action figure. Good stuff. Raw Dog Comics, indeed. Miguel.g.comics. One of my New Year's decision is to say no to FOMO and just buy what I really want. So I'm beginning with Mark Greenwald's run of Captain America, and this is the first issue he wrote, 307, the first appearance of Madcap. I think that's a great philosophy. Don't fall into the FOMO, people. If you're going out there for the spec, make sure you educate yourself, but don't fall into the FOMO. That FOMO is, we all know. We all fall into that FOMO pit. Chris, your third fresh get of the week. What is it?
All right, it's a hot one.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Really, I'm not making that sound. My hand's literally sizzling as I touch it. This is Spidey goodness. Marvel Team Up number 95.
Oh, there you go.
First appearance of Mockingbird.
Nice.
This you're gonna see this book later on today too.
Oh yeah, that's true. But that's a great pickup, Chris. That really is. That's a hot book, as we know, for a few reasons. But dude, how's it looking? What's the condition there?
Yeah, it's pretty minty. I haven't given it a press. I'd say right now it's definitely a very fine. Maybe one little spine tick, but decently sharp edges. Little, yeah. I think I could press this up and it'd be at least probably a 9.0 at least.
That's good stuff, man. That is good stuff. I hope we see. There's a lot of speculation going around right now, and I do hope we see her in the MCU proper. I know there's a lot of like, oh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't in the MCU, which I think it is more than it isn't. You know, you had a lot of those tie-ins with Nick Fury was there. What's her face? Sif was there. So many other. Maria Hill was there. So, yeah, guys. Anyways, I hope we see her in the MCU proper. Continuing on her story. All right, we got Peter. I love his name, Peter Peanuts. Gosh, I remember from back in the day. The great Jim Starlin and legendary Stan Lee autographs on one of the early Marvel foil embossed covers. Thank you, Amazing J Bros. I had this issue back in the day. No idea what happened to it. God, I loved it so much. So with Ron Lim with the art, Chris, you love some Ron Lim. I know you do.
Local man, local dude. So I got to give him his props.
Absolutely. And this is like classic Ron Lim right here. Like, seriously. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Good stuff, Peter Peanuts. Good friend of the show. 0879 Lions, a.k.a. Serge Henderson. Hello, everybody that comes with me. These are my fresh gets. The first one you see on your left, I've been hunting for this book for a long time, and I got lucky. For over 20 years, I've been trying to get this book. Quasar number 29, Demi Moore version. He says there's two more he'd like to get, but it's hard to find the next one. I'm not sure what those two are. Something about giving it as a gift for Christmas. We won't tell anybody, we promise. And then we got Kermit the Frog on the right. Thank you, Chris and Jeff. Hope you guys have a good night in the comic book community. We hope you're still hanging with us and having a great night yourself, Serge. Absolutely. And finally,
love the Kermit. Love the Kermit.
Oh, heck yeah. By the way, I started watching a documentary on how Sesame Street started on HBO Max. Another piece of content right there. Very interesting. I haven't finished it, but it's very interesting. Jim Henson, big role. Big role. We all know that, though. All right. Last but not least, Caution Comics. Here's a copy of The Origin of the Black Knight, which I think is an oversized Silver Age book. Got this book from Erod212. I love hunting Silver Age books. It's fun. If you're going to tell me 10 years ago I would be into comic books, I probably would have laughed. It's funny how our tastes changed over time. Stay frosty. Happy holidays, everyone. Great pickup, Caution Comics. Would love to hear your story of how you became a collector. I find that interesting. Like, comic books have always been with me. Everybody has a different story, though, and that is really, really fascinating. Love to hear more about your journey, Caution Comics. Justin does a good job with his origin stories. What's that?
Yeah, I want to say to Caution's point, because I was just I was probably responding to some comments of mine on some of my videos recently. And I keep hearing the fact that, this whole misconception of, people are weary of the hobby because the hobby is losing collectors and all this. And I just got to keep reminding people, I hear stories like Caution's every single day. And although we didn't get the full gist of like you said, the whole origin, but he just said 10 years ago, he would have laughed if you asked if he collected comics, and here he is. And, like I said, I hear more and more of that every single day. The only few times I ever hear people saying I'm done with comics is when they miss out on some FOMO. And then they're back the next day blowing their paycheck on more comics. So It's like, so I just want to acknowledge that. Love hearing that from Caution. And man, comics are going hard and strong right now.
I mean, they absolutely are. In this pandemic, it's just been it's been even more so. It's been more intense. I'll be honest, we've both been in and out of the hobby so much. The pandemic has done a lot for it. So anyways, all right. So this is going to be my fresh get of the week. And then Chris and I are going to determine who the semifinalist is that will go against Super Rad. But Chris, before I start, allow me to crack open another beer, if that's okay with everybody here. I know Nerds Being Geeks is always okay with him. And Nerds Being Geeks, I'm still trying to finish this Ultra case from Thanksgiving. Sorry, guys. Anyways, so yeah, it's Sunday night. I don't have work for the next 2 weeks. Why not, right? Why the heck not? Here we go, Chris. I told you this one this goes out to you. I got this for $2 today.
Uh-oh. My precious.
Not exactly, Chris.
No?
Not exactly. But this is Warlock and the Infinity Watch number 2
Oh, yeah.
for $2, and
Okay.
it's a newsstand.
Okay.
Okay, and it's the first.
approve.
This is the first appearance of the Infinity Watch. Everybody, you got Drax, Pip the Troll
On the cover.
No, I think on the cover. Oh, it's the first cover appearance.
First
Okay,
cover appearance. Yeah, the first issue is their first appearance.
The Gathering of the Watch. Anyways, I was happy to see this, Chris. $2, man. Newsstand. I was like, heck yeah, I'm getting this. Heck yeah. So that's my fresh get of the week, and that right there ends all of our submissions for Fresh from the Comic Shop. Chris and I have a job to do, as you all know. Chris, I've been terrible the last few weeks. I haven't written down notes, but I have some notes, Chris.
Me too.
I have some notes. I shouldn't have just gone off camera right there, but I did. Yeah. So I don't know. How do we want to do this? What do you want to do? I'm going to go first. Actually, you go first quite a bit.
All right. I like how we have the Sith look going on today.
Yeah, why not, man? It's 30. It's in the 20s here. It's in the 30s there, Chris. Right?
Yeah.
We have every right to have our hoods on, and I think we look freaking cool. Hoodies are the best. As we all know, Super Rad Comics was our semifinalist last week. The winner this week will go up against Super Rad to become a finalist. To go up against. Tell me.
I don't know. I was just gonna ask if you remember who the.
I will, Chris. Keep them entertained while I look this up. This is gonna be
okay. Because I think my answer.
I got it.
Play into this. So you got who is it?
Just
Okay.
Keep everybody entertained, please.
All right. So I was really liking Comic Demons. What Comic Demon did. He had the Emma Frost, but just seeing the comic book on that the whole backdrop, with that fur blanket or fur carpet or whatever it was, it just really added great presentation, great cover art. But there were a couple others, and I will say another one that really grabbed my attention, and I wish Kermit hangs out with me as well as Grover. Grover's made an appearance on the canon. I don't know, Jeff, has Kermit made an appearance on the canon yet?
Never. Kermit has never made an appearance on the canon. No.
Kermit might have to make an appearance. So Surge, man, I loved Surge's presentation. Kermit's the homie. So, man, but there was one, and now Jeff, this is why. Do you have it yet?
I do.
Who is it? Who was the one? Who was the semifinalist? The winner of the first two.
It was Bob Zilla with this Doom cover.
Oh yeah, that's right. And remember, didn't Bob Zilla beat out Nerds Being Geeks?
Yes.
So
it's quite interesting here, actually. Yeah.
I think this may be new ground, but
this is going to be new ground. I think this. Yeah.
I mean, technically, Nerds Being Geeks won in the what do we even call the first rounds? Because the semifinalists are the two. I guess those are the semifinalists, and the two finals are the finalists, right?
Yeah.
So we can't hold it against Nerds Being Geek for being a semifinalist and losing and not giving him his credit for such an amazing submission this week.
Chris, you're getting ahead of yourself. Let's just hold on. You've mentioned your interesting picks, right?
Yeah.
We had, because again, I thought Comic Noob had I really dug what Comic Noob had going on with the Emma Frost. It was Comic Demon. I'm sorry, with Emma Frost.
Yep.
I really like that. I gotta say, I really, really liked what Mark Lennocker gave us.
Oh yeah.
But he's already won before, so he always delivers amazing shit.
Yep.
But Chris, man, you're okay. Now we're all caught up. Continue on with your thought, please.
Well, Nerds Being Geeks, he's been killing it the last few weeks. And it's hard for me not to look at his submission this week did everything good, and I don't see, like I said, I know he was the first semifinalist of this month, but he lost and, did not move on to the finals with that submission. So how? Me voting, I got to vote for him on this week to give him another opportunity as a semifinalist. It would be one thing if he was a finalist and he was waiting a potential competition, we couldn't pick him again, but that's not the case.
That's definitely not the case. He's like Susan Lucci. Stop. He says he does not qualify. I remove myself. Just happy to share, guys. Well, you don't have a say in this.
Nope. No, he doesn't.
Honestly. So Chris and I are moving you to the finals to go up against a rematch. We got a rematch. The first rematch going up against Bobzilla. Actually, no, I'm sorry. No, he's going up against Super Rad with the potential to have a rematch.
Yes.
Everybody's going to decide. Everybody in the community is going to decide between Super Rad and Nerds Being Geeks. And we have a potential rematch. It may happen. So, anyways, congratulations, Nerds Being Geeks.
Well deserved.
You are moving on to the semifinals against Super Rad this week, and then by next show we're gonna have our winner. So that's exciting stuff. Exciting stuff indeed. And everybody, thank you so much for submitting. One more time, Chris, how do they submit to Fresh from the Comic Shop? Why did I get rid of the hashtag? Terrible. Tell us.
If you want to win some beautiful goodies like this, make sure, again, for right now, and it may change in the future, but for right now, our current sponsor who donated this beauty, right? Glass Cabin Hobbies. You got to do them proper, and make sure you are following them on.
It's not only a proper, Chris, it's the rules.
Yeah, it is. Exactly. It is the rules. You can't enter without doing this, but this is how we pay it forward for these sponsors supporting us and being able to give you guys these awesome opportunities. So make sure you're following them on Instagram at Glass Cabinet Hobbies. Make sure you check out their website, glasscabinethobbies.com. And all you got to do is sign up for their newsletter with your email. And, of course, you can check out all the other goodies that they got going on their website. And then from there, of course, post your awesome fresh gets to Instagram, hashtag FFTCS. Make sure you at us at Comic Book Canon on the gram. We're looking for presentation. We're looking for great shots. We're looking for uniqueness in book, story behind the book, and something special. And we got more and more people submitting every week, stepping their game up. So I'm loving. I feel like the competition. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys watch Lego Masters. Who watches Lego Masters? By the way?
Man, that looks like a show I want to watch.
Man, like y'all gotta keep stepping the game up and become FFTCS masters and push harder to win these awesome prizes that we do every single month.
Absolutely. Right there ends Fresh from the Comic Shop. We'll have some new fresh gets next week, and I'm super excited to see what they are. All right. Full disclosure, guys, I'm downstairs in a basement in my studio. I'm still building it up. Upstairs right now, I may have said something that tricked Siri into thinking it needs to play something because I have some music that's blaring in the house, and I'm the only one here. So, Chris, we're going to get into this because right now, we're going to get into it, and I'm just going to step away for a hot sec into the top 10 hottest comics of the week based off of cover prices data. That's right, real sales data, not stuff that we're throwing up against the wall thinking, hey, these are the top 10 hottest comics because we said so. No, real sales data, right, Chris? Those are numbers, hard numbers. Now, Cover Price doesn't sponsor us by any means. We have respect for Cover Price and what they do. We use them like a stock index tool like you would for the stock market. And it's really, I would encourage people to use it themselves if they're again doing research for speccing and all that good stuff. But Chris, we have a top 10 hottest comics this week. We're going to get right into it, so I can go check out to see what's going on upstairs and why there's music just suddenly blaring. And I'm just going to read it off right now. How about it? How's it sound?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it indeed. Number 10, we got Star Wars Crimson Reign. Number 1, the Stephen Cummings 1 in 50. And number 9, Marvel Team Up. Number 95, first appearance of Mockingbird. Christopher, there it is. Number 8, we have Captain Marvel. Number 17, first full appearance of Phyla Vell. A lot of rumors going on with that character. Number 7, we have Spider-Man India, the first appearance of Spider-Man India. Sorry, that's Spider-Man India number 1. At number 6, we have Battle Chasers, the Prelude. Number 5, we have Star Wars Shadow of the Empire number 1. Excuse me, I just burped. That was me. First appearance of Prince Zizor. First cover appearance of Dash Rendar. Number 4, we have Animal Castle number 1. And number 3, X-Men Legends number 9. The Care Andrews Adamantium foil cover. At number 2, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 365. Burped again. And at number 1, Spider-Man 2099. That's what we got. By the way, before we get going any further, you guys still have not guessed what's on my TV. We play this fun game each and every week. Just want to make mention of that. Chris, each week you pick your 3 most interesting books off of this list. Interesting doesn't mean good always, but I like what you got going on here this week. So why don't you just take it away? Take it away.
All right, let's do it. All right, guys. Let's just go right into my number 3. I got a lot of talk about. My picks are very unique as well. Different talking points for all 3. But my number 3 is Spider-Man India. Number 1, the first U.S. appearance of Spider-Man India. So really interesting book and character. So for that, it's a positive in my book that this is getting some hype around it. There were rumors in June that he would appear in the upcoming Spider-Verse animated film. The sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, as we now know, is titled Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Now, in the new Across the Spider-Verse teaser, it shows Miles falling through a dimension that could indeed be the home of Spider-Man India. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there is writing on the buildings. There's even a what looks to be a billboard of an individual that could a lot of things that point in this direction. Now, I do want to make something clear, though. Cover price, and as we do respect them highly, I'm a paying member every single month. I do want to make it clear that I kind of would take heed to how they labeled this. They stated that trailer is a confirmation that the character will appear. But this is not a confirmation whatsoever. First off, as much as we can look at it and say, okay, this, we can put the pieces together and say it's very, very, probable that this could definitely be a Spider-Man India situation. We don't know. Nobody's confirmed. So I do think it's a little bit negligent for cover price to just use that word confirmation, because it hasn't been confirmed yet. Okay. We did see 160% upward trend in sales with the high CGC 9.6 sale of $300. A high 9.8 sold back on November 16th, so just about a month ago, for well over double that, $725. Now, this book seems to be scarce on the market, and that's why there's no updated 9.8 sale. But, man, I mean, this book was a book that you could find out there. It's just one of those obscure books that, nobody really sought. And you could find it probably in an LCS of just inventory that LCSs were trying to unload, and you could find it in dollar bins. Not anymore. So you probably got some LCS owners rummaging through their bargain bins trying to find this book and reprice this thing because it's moving. And look, even though I'm a bit concerned of just the verbiage being used here, nothing's been confirmed. You guys know how I am about the CGC, the 9.8s especially, and just not being so reactionary and with the FOMO and going out and just spending all this money, $700 something for a 9.8 of this book. It's absolutely crazy. But what do we need to do in order to be good speculators? We want to be ahead of the curve, but you got to ask yourself right now, in terms of time, as a time to buy, are we ahead of the curve? And this is another one of those situations where looking for a high grade CGC slab book right now, you are absolutely not ahead of the curve. More likely than not, if this character does show up into the Spider-Verse, there's a lot there. The positives that I feel, Jeff, are that this is another character that can be something that can tend to a global audience. And I always go back every time we talk about a broadening global audience. I go back to what Jim Lee said during DC Fandom in 2020. And when he talked about what DC was trying to do and it's not just about, being inclusive or diversifying your racial diversity from a U.S. standpoint. It's really, we want to go global. We want different cultures involved as well, because we know that there's bigger markets that are growing in, South America and Asia and so forth and all these other places of the world. So that to me is probably the most important for me when it comes to this book. It's not even the price tag. It's that Into the Spider-Verse has done so many things for Miles Morales, and I'm hoping that it could do some things for these different unique characters and really have another opportunity to bring in another global base into the movies, into the characters, and then back into the comic book. So overall, that right there is really positive for me. And I really do hope that these, breadcrumbs from this trailer do pan out to be Spider-Man India.
Yeah, I'll go back to what you're saying about $725 for 9.8. That is definitely behind the curve. If you're looking at that as, if this is something you want and you feel it's worth it, then pay for that. But if it's an investment, I don't think that's a really good investment. A lot of these characters that we see, even in the MCU proper, that really don't come back. Those values don't hold, including like Thanos' first appearance, for example. He's an iconic character at this point, and his book has gone down. So I would love to see, a global kind of representation like Chris and I talk. Maybe this character can grow and become something. But if you're looking for the next Miles Morales, I'm not so sure, right, Chris?
Right. Yeah, totally. And I want to make a point to what you're saying, because I want to make sure we have proper context here. Especially when looking at an Iron Man 55 first appearance of Thanos. When you say those prices don't hold, we're talking about peak spec prices. In a book like Iron Man 55, that's an early Bronze Age book, that's going to continue to increase over time. So I don't want anyone to get discouraged as if these books are crashing or dipping. Because if you go and do the numbers, we could run the numbers right now. We're not gonna, but I could. And I will prove to you all that Thanos' first appearance right now is still worth more than it was probably pre-2018. I can almost guarantee you that. But to your point, there's two things. You're right. There are characters that show up in this case, an animated feature. As they disappear, if they're not here for multiple films or multiple years and they're one and dones or whatnot, if there's a big spike peak, it could definitely dip down. So that's why you want to get ahead of the curve. But another thing that you got to understand is that modern books, this is a very modern book, they're still very, very much more volatile, to where if I overspent on an Iron Man 55 when Infinity War and Endgame were coming out, and maybe I lost a little money in the short term, I'm going to hold that book in 5-10 years from now. We're going to probably see it go above and set even new floors. So I'm good. It's okay if I care about holding it for the long term. But this modern book where we don't even know what's going on with this character, it's just, I personally wouldn't take the gamble.
Agreed. 100%. Before we get to the next book, Chris, Dan De La Torre, you are the winner for a prize that we don't even have. Or don't even know. Yes, it is Civil War. Good job. Look at Hawkeye trying to break Wanda out, and man, great memories indeed. All right, Chris, what is your second most interesting book off of this list? Tell us.
All right, my second most interesting book off of this list is I am an absolute huge Star Wars fan. Just a bunch of random Star Wars books that I got laying around. Got my Star Wars stuff. Got R2 hanging out. So R2 approves of this pick. Star Wars, Shadow of the Empire, #1. The first appearance of Prince Xizor. First cover appearance of Dash Rendar. So my thing with this is a beautiful, beautiful cover, by the way. Star Wars fans love their Star Wars, guys. Star Wars fans love their Star Wars.
Can I interject? Not even comic collectors love Star Wars comics.
it goes way much beyond the comic book collectors. It really does. It's Star Wars fans are in a league of their own. And what's going on with this book, I think, shows because the book spiked due to speculation that Prince Sizor will show up in the new Star Wars series, the comic book series that is Crimson Reign, #1. I just picked up #1 as well. That book's been definitely hot, moving on the market. So, again, we're not even talking Disney Plus, Star Wars shows, which obviously have brought in a lot of hype to the comic books. Star Wars fans are in a very, very good place right now. And I think, and I've talked to some Star Wars fans who say, I'm really getting into the comic books because of what's going on right now with Star Wars fandom. And I think that's an amazing thing. And I think maybe you have even casual Star Wars fans that are diehard comic book collectors, then building up their love for Star Wars as well. So there's two things happening at the same time, because I think Star Wars was, in terms of the comic books, were very overlooked for a long time by both comic book collectors and also by a lot of your diehard Star Wars fans who didn't really dive into the comic book side of it. Now I think those bridges are being closed, or laid out. And we're seeing just that Star Wars mania. So this book, we're looking at a 224% upward trend in sales with a high CGC 9.8 selling for $279. This is just another one of those books too that, a lot of these 90s Dark Horse books, for so long, you can find them in dollar bins. I mean, we talked about how even the Marvel Volume 1 run was so undervalued. I really think that Star Wars #1 from 77, from the Volume 1 Marvel 1, I call it a blue chip key. I believe that book is a blue chip key. And we're continuing to see that book rise in value on the market, and I don't think it's going to slow down at all. And it's just amazing that it took so long for that to happen. So I picked this book simply because I think we are in such a good place. I talk about anytime I talk about Star Wars these days, you got to bring up what happened a few years back, the divisiveness, the arguing amongst the fandom, it being really split apart. And over the last couple of years now, since what Favreau and Filoni and team has done with the Disney Plus shows, the fandom is strong, okay, and the force is strong, and it is reflecting in comic books. And I've said this for the last year and a half, I am not seeing a slowdown period anytime soon.
Yep. It's right now, I feel like, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a Star Wars lull, right? We are so distracted by Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home during that time span. Also, all of the MCU shows during that time span, we haven't had any Star Wars content. I think Bad Batch was the last thing that we did have. Chris.
Yeah.
The 29th. What happens?
Yep.
It all starts again. The Star Wars hype starts again. All of these books are going to shoot through the roof again. It happened last time. What last year was it? The Mandalorian came out in season 2,
right?
I can't. But yeah, guys, it's going to happen. All the speculation where the universe is going, where you got Ahsoka, you got Rangers of the New Republic, you got the Acolyte, you got what's his face, the dude from Rogue One, his series, you got Obi-Wan coming out. There's so many things that they can incorporate, so many characters that they are incorporating. So much fun. I do love this cover too. Luke looks just really awkward though. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. It's something about maybe his posture.
Yeah, just really. Anyways. All right, Chris. Give your final book of the week. Your third most interesting book of the week. What is it, Chris?
All right, I got to get some water for this one.
Get some water, please.
Oh man.
While you do that, I just want to say hey to Justin, No Good Comics. It's funny because we've been talking about you a couple of times tonight. Glad to see that you're here. You're a good dude. Y'all should be following No Good Comics. Links is down below. Speaking of comics, Chris.
All right. Well, so I made a couple videos this week pertaining to this character. So I did pick one book, but I'm really talking about two, and they're the top two on the list this week, right? Jeff did. Well, let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man 365 real quick. Which number did that come in at?
Which number did Amazing Spider-Man 2?
It was number 2. It was. Yep. And so my number 1 pick was Spider-Man 2099, the number 1 book on the list. So I'm just going to look at these numbers, guys. We're going to look at these numbers. So this book right here had 128% upward trend in sales. I'm going to compare this to Amazing Spider-Man 365, the number 2 book. It had 125% upward trend in sales. A high CGC 9.8 for Spider-Man 2099 number 1, $500, with newsstands breaking $1,100. There was even one that hit over $1,200. Comparing that to Make Spider-Man 365, a high 9.8, $540. So not too much above the Spider-Man 2099 number 1. But newsstands for this one were breaking $1,500. So that's a bit of a more of a steep percentage-wise difference than its counterpart right here, Spider-Man 2099. Now, the reason why I'm kind of talking about both of these books is because we all know that there's the controversy of what's the real first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. Now, I highly recommend you guys go watch 2 videos that I did last week. One, I did a video coming straight out and saying, what is the true first appearance of Spider-Man 2099? Now, in that video, I didn't really even give a straight answer, but I provided facts, data, precedent, and all this stuff for you guys to sit there and critically think about it for yourselves. And then I did a video talking about how the market will never decide what the first appearance is. It is a label defined by definitions. Now, definitions are subjective, right? That's the thing with comic books. People define cameo and full differently, and we argue about it. Why? Because there is no etched in stone concrete definition. Now, I am a proponent to say there is absolutely enough evidence and precedent for it to not be so widely confused or widely subjective, in my opinion. But still, it is subjective, and I understand why we'll never probably solve the argument until we get a committee or a board that writes a clear etched in stone definition of what a cameo is, what a first full is, and all this stuff. Or it does it count if it's in a preview or da-da-da-da-da. But regardless of how we interpret the definition, the market doesn't decide and throw the label of these definitions on a comic book. My point is this. This right here is widely not considered to be the first appearance of Spider-Man 2009, simply because Amazing Spider-Man 365 had a 5-page preview of this book. So the first 5 pages of this book were printed and released first in Amazing Spider-Man 365, which came out, I believe, was it only a month or a couple months before this book came out? So I sat and argued that because it was a book that you could buy off of the newsstand, you could buy, it was an actual storied comic book that wasn't a solicitation, like a previews magazine is. Anything that shows up in a previews mag and that just has like a picture of a character and a little synopsis of the character, those will never count as first appearances in a comic book. And context matters in comic books. Now, this character first showed up in Web of Spider-Man number 90 in a poster. So, and that's before both of these books. So you could say, well, this Web of Spider-Man 90 is the first appearance of 2099 Spidey in poster, right? Sure, add the proper context, but it sure ain't his first appearance in a comic book. But let's look at 365 again. It's not a solicitation, it's an actual comic book. And that's what muddies the waters. But what is that comic book there for? What is that 5-page preview there for in that comic? It's not an original story. It is considered a preview to solicit a book that's going to be hitting the newsstand a couple months later that you're going to pay for. So that's where you can argue that this appearance is still a first appearance in preview. And then you could consider Spider-Man 2099 to be his first full appearance. That's what I would consider. But that's just my personal opinion. We may have people watching right now that are saying, I disagree. It's his origin in 2099, but he showed up here. It's in story. Doesn't matter if it's a preview in 365. That's his first appearance. The point that I'm making is this. When I have this conversation, there might be some people in the chat or watching right now that are thinking, well, Chris, whatever you say, I agree or I disagree, but just the market will decide. The market will decide. No, it won't. No, it won't. The market isn't going to decide how we label these books. And that's why I brought up the comparison in numbers. Because guess what, folks? Right now, you have CGC, CBCS, Overstreet even, and all the major industry leaders declaring 365 to be the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099 with no other context. And that's what makes it problematic for me. And then none of them even state any context on 2099 number one. They call it his origin. They don't state first full appearance. They don't state, they don't state 365 as a first appearance in cameo or in preview or nothing like that. It's cut and dry to all these entities. But yet, Spider-Man 2099 number one is so close to the same fair market value. I mean, almost identical. CGC 9.8, $500 next to an Amazing Spider-Man 365, $540. And again, those are the highs. They're not a rolling average. In the newsstand, hitting over 1,100. I think it hit 1,200 for Spider-Man 2099, over 1,500 for 365. So again, a little higher there. But again, what's my point? My point is this. The market decides the value of the book based on supply and demand. We are the market. We are the market. Now, we aren't the market because of what we believe in to be the first appearance. Don't get it twisted. We're the market because of how we spend our money. We spend our money and it decides what book is worth what on the market. So for some reason, no matter what we believe, Spider-Man 2099 number one somehow passes up 365 and starts selling for more money than Spider-Man 365. The market isn't going to take the label of first appearance from 365 and move it over to Spider-Man 2099 number one. It's not how it works. Never, never, never has CGC or Overstreet sat there and said, well, let's what's a good example? Gambit. Well, let's sit back and there's all this talk about people arguing that Uncanny Annual 14 that's not a cameo, that's his first real appearance, and 266 is really his second appearance. CGC and Overstreet and CBCS, they're not sitting back saying, hey guys, let's wait for the market to decide. Let's see if that Uncanny 14 Annual passes up the value of 266. So let's wait and see, because if it does, we're changing the labels, guys. That's going to be Gambit's first full appearance if it passes up in price. No. If Uncanny Annual 14 somehow, some way ever goes past 266 in value, nobody is changing the label because of that. Because of that. That's my point, guys. I hope this is clear. I'm gonna sum up here, Jeff. But the reason I picked these books is because there's something more important going on here. When I did my video saying the market will decide, and I said, no, it won't. That was the title. And I tried to explain this. Almost 90% of the comments were people saying, well, you know, I think this is his first appearance. I don't think people were understanding what I was trying to. I'm not arguing what you define as a first appearance, as a cameo, as a full. I'm not arguing that. My point is that it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the market only decides value. It will never swap the labels from book to book. Market value and market demand will never swap labels from book to book. Definitions and people that are in positions of power to stamp those definitions onto a CG or onto a slab or into a, I don't have my Overstreet guide here, but into an Overstreet guide or onto a Go Collect database website. Those are the people, they don't look at the numbers. They look at the definition in the context of the book, how they interpret that definition, and they assign it to the book. They are not looking at, oh, what's it doing on the market? Because the market's going to decide. No. So that's my rant. I'm happy to see both of these Spider-Man 2099 books doing good. But look, guys, 2099 is moving more units than 365.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Again, based off of sales data. Chris, you bring up a lot of very good points. And, you know, it's until there's some flexibility with CGC and those grading companies, I don't know how things get resolved other than you make the best judgment for you, right?
Well, yeah, and see, and to that point, Jeff, we labels and market demand correlate. They do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because we you know, before like here's an example that goes against this. It's so funny because in 1970, what was it, 3, when Hulk 180 and Hulk 180 came out. I do believe it was 1973. When Hulk 180 came out, there was no context. They labeled Hulk 180 the first appearance of Wolverine. Overstreet was around then. That was the go-to. But there was no, and they're not wrong. They weren't wrong. It's Hulk 180 has always been the first appearance of Wolverine. Always.
74. Came out 74.
74. It's always been the first appearance of Wolverine. But they just never let you know that it was in cameo. There's just a little extra context there that wasn't widely documented. Hulk 181 has always been the second overall appearance of Wolverine. But it's always been his first cover appearance, and it's always been his first full appearance, even though that context might have not been widely talked about back then. Those labels have not changed. But here's the funny thing. Hulk 180 came out. And then Hulk 181 came out. And what did we rush to as collectors? Did we care about the label? Because back then, the context wasn't there. And the only thing being labeled as the first appearance was Hulk 181. But what book immediately started becoming more valuable? Hulk 181.
Mm-hmm.
So the point that I'm trying to make is we didn't get to this point where we are right now and say, well, look, the market spoke and they demanded Hulk 181 is the bigger book. So that's why we're calling it the first appearance of Wolverine now. No, that's not how it worked. But my point is this: we used to read the books and understand the context of the books, and then we spoke with our dollar. We valued that Wolverine showed up on the cover and in the whole story of Hulk 181. That's why we cared. we saw this new character show up in 180, but oh my gosh, I want to know more about them. Oh shoot, the next issue, he's going to be fully in the story. He's on the cover. I want that book.
Mm-hmm.
But now, and this isn't a bad thing, but we do have a lot of the instantaneous information from these databases and CGC labels and Key Collector and Overstreet and Go Collect and all this stuff. Sometimes we look at the labels before we look into the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why we're not thinking for ourselves. Now we're going to say, I want to invest in the first appearance of character X. So I'm going to go look up Key Collector, or I'm going to go look up CGC or Overstreet, and I'm going to go there and find out what this character's first appearance is. And then we take what they say, and that influences our purchasing decision. So let me give you a hypothetical here. ASM 365 is still a more valuable book than 2099 #1, slightly. But is it because we actually value that book more inherently? Or is it because we just care what a company is throwing on a label without understanding the context of the definition? What if there was no label for Spider-Man 2099, the character? What if there was no label on 2099 #1? And what if there was no label on ASM 365? And what if we had to decide for ourselves? Tell me then that 365 would still be the more valuable book. Now, I don't know, but I can guarantee you there's a high possibility that it could go the other way.
Sure. Absolutely. Oh man, this is a tough one. But I like how you break that down. You're right. Because it kind of confines us into these lanes, right? With the way that they're graded. And I see Jay Ward spouting out a lot about what he thinks about these grading companies, and you're not the only one. But it's a tough one, dude. It is a tough one. And I think we'll just leave it at that for you guys to kind of think that through and decide for yourselves, because right there ends the top 10 hottest comics of the week. We'll have a brand new list next week and maybe some more controversy. Chris, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
I think there's going to be a lot of goodness, possibly some No Way Home influence, and also some Hawkeye influence on the next
and Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
So Doctor Strange. I think MCU is going to dominate next week. No doubt about that. MCU will dominate. I don't think any other publisher has made any sort of news as much as the MCU has in the past month. So really, oh, look at this. I didn't know this. CGC is now giving grader notes. I didn't know that.
Only for reoccurring paying members.
Interesting. That's lame.
I don't see that as a good thing, to be honest, but that's a whole nother video.
Whole nother video. Anyways, that right there ends the top 10 hottest comics of the week. And Chris, that kind of brings us to the end of our show. It's been a great show tonight. Really feeling festive. We really didn't wear our Christmas best or Happy Holidays best, but doesn't mean we're not festive and we're not in the mood. I've
been having my green and red going.
You do. That's you know what? I should have done that. That's terrible of me, and I'm sorry. Next time it's gonna be too late. It's gonna be after Christmas. But we really appreciate you guys joining us on a Sunday. I know it's getting confusing with the changing days each and every week. But stick with us. We're gonna land. We'll get into consistency. We promise that. We promise to, bring you some fun shows each and every week. Get to, hit up the subscribe and the like and all that stuff, guys. We're trying to get to that 1,000 sub mark so we can give you some really cool slabs there. Speaking of slabs, we'll give you some really cool slabs that have no sort of there's no controversy, is there, with any of these?
Somebody could find controversy.
Yeah, you're right. We live in a day and age where you can definitely find controversy. But again, I'm speaking for Chris too. We're really appreciative of you guys each and every week watching our show, hanging out with us, talking comic books. Chris, I don't know. You have any parting words here?
Well, yeah, we'll see you guys 1 week from today. It'll be after Christmas. For those that celebrate Christmas or whatever holiday, I hope that you guys are safe. Have fun, but be safe.
Yeah.
And I think the most important thing to remember is it's all about family, man. That's the most important thing for me. And I do want to say also to anybody that was here, maybe that's here right now, that was in my last week or on Friday's live sale on Whatnot. If anyone showed up to there, thank you for joining me in that new experience. I'll be there a lot more often. And I just want to say too, because we have one more show for 2020.
2021.
I said 2020, 2022. What year is it? We have one more show for 2021, guys. And I really hope to see all of you guys there. Jeff and I both would appreciate you guys, sharing the word for next week's show on Sunday. Let's get some folks in here. Let's have fun and let's go out with the bang. And man, I don't know about you, Jeff. This was our second year doing this. I think we've been doing it for about 20 months now.
Something like that. I think we started March of 2020.
First week of May, 2020. So, yep, just about 20 months. So, I just we're about to hit 1,000 subscribers here. I'm about to hit 10,000 on Journos. It's been a wild ride, and I'm really looking forward to 2022. And I'm really looking forward to being able to expand and grow in a way that what we do here on YouTube is going above and beyond anything that we've ever done so far. And I'm staying absolutely optimistic. So obviously I couldn't do it without you, Jeff, here, us two together doing this, and we all couldn't do it without you guys every single week. So,
oh, you know what? We didn't. Okay. We're not going to end the show just yet because 360 first of all, we want you guys to get better. 360. Yep. Louis Logics, again, we're sorry that you got the COVID, but hopefully you're on, the tail end of it. 360's wife asked how we met. Chris and I have never met in person. It's crazy. We're approaching 2 years where we've been doing this show. We've never met in person. Chris, why don't you tell a story? You're a better storyteller than I
am. Once upon a time, in the land of COVID, everyone was home, worried about the world around them in their own little bubble. And all we could do was turn on our phones and our computers and hop on the YouTube.
True?
No, but for real though. Yeah, no, it was funny because, so it's really weird looking at these last 2 years, man, because I was still in a state, when COVID hit, I had just graduated from college in the summer of 2019. And I wasn't doing much on my channel because I was trying to find a job. And I graduated with honors from an accredited business school, Sacramento State University. I graduated with 2 business degrees and a degree in behavioral and social sciences. Before I went to school, it's all context, guys. It matters here. I had years. I was a manager at Pete's Coffee, Starbucks. I managed a Sprint store. And I worked at a record label managing musicians and departments and merchandising. And so I had a lot of work experience. And I go to school and I graduate with honors. I couldn't find a job. I applied literally, I think in a span of about 6 months, I applied for probably 3,000 jobs. I had about 8 interviews and was denied on all of them. And I got to a point where I was applying for business jobs that I thought were related to what I went to school for. Then I started applying for jobs that I used to do, like Starbucks assistant manager. Then I started going down to like shift leads at fast food places. I was getting desperate. I couldn't find a job. That's the state I was going into COVID. When I finally did get a job. I won't get into that now, but the point that I'm making is like, I wasn't even being really active on my YouTube because I was dealing with life. And then I finally found a job and I was laid off when COVID hit. So it was like, man, it hit me. And then, so I kind of turned to my YouTube, and then a good member of this community passed away. And I don't know if you guys are aware of OMG Chris, but rest in peace to Chris. I have his picture always up in my room. Back in, I believe it was 2018, Jeff, I think it was the video. It was a video that I did on the Amazing Spider-Man #1 versus Amazing Spider-Man 300. And we did a recap of that last year, where I showed you guys, like, I was talking like 3 years before, if you invest in this much money in one ASM1 or 300 copies of ASM 300, what's the better investment? Chris had commented on that video saying, you found, this is it. You found your niche. You know, this talking business and investment and all this stuff. This is it. And I didn't think about it then at all until he passed and we were in COVID, and his words really sparked me. And I said, I'm going to make this a business. So it's just fun. I know, Jeff, I'm sorry. I went off track, but you really found me. Jeff found my channel when I was in this awkward stage of, wanting to take this approach and say, I could do this full time as a job. I could build Journos Comics up and really make something of it. And Jeff actually found me during that time. He found a more controversial video that I did. And I don't know, why don't you tell it from there? What was your
I work in production. I've done TV, I've done digital, I've done film, I've done everything. So my company was pivoting into this virtual world and what we were going to explore in terms of tools on how to continue to produce content. StreamYard was one of these things. I'm a producer. I help develop content, shows, a variety of things. And I'm not a technical person at all. I got a crew running stuff. I'm usually in a control room with 12 to 15 people. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to learn, if we're going to do this StreamYard thing, I'm going to learn how to do it. And I wanted to do a comic book show. Comics have been a passion for all my life. And I just started diving into YouTube content for entertainment value, but also while thinking along, maybe I should, start a show. And then I hit up, I was like, I'm not doing one by myself. There's no way I'm going to be the only person on here. Wanted to do a live show. So I was watching a lot of stuff, and, you like stuff and it refers you to somebody else. And then I came across Chris and I was like, man, this dude is genuine. He knows his shit and he's great on camera. Like, he knows he can speak to things. And I was like, let me hit him up. And I hit him up. Chris was skeptical at first. Especially with his, the time constraints, but it's worked out, Chris. That's the short of it, I guess.
Yeah. And I remember, we had our first phone call, and I told Jeff, everyone, I said, let's do it, but if we go for a month or a few months, maybe, but I can't commit, it is what it is. We'll fill it out. I am a type of person that I don't really like being stuck in commitments. Like, if I hate having to, what gives me anxiety, like scheduling, like the PG&E guy to come out to the house or something like I hate it. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing that day. Like, what I don't know. That's just me. I don't want to. So, but at the same time, being very busy, I think at the time for me, it was because I didn't know what was going on with my career. And I didn't know if I would be landing a full-time job. COVID had just hit. We were really in the thick of it. Like, everything was shut down. And I think for me, that was more of where my hesitancy came from, to like, I don't know what's going to happen with me. I'm home with COVID right now, not, due to COVID, but things could open back up. I could go start working and I might not be available. But, I think, interesting enough, Jeff, COVID kind of played into our hand. Not that anybody wanted any of it, but we made the best of it. It allowed us to keep doing this as long as we did. And fortunately, during that time, my channel, Journos, continued to boom and grow. And it's allowed me to do that full time, because, to be quite honest, it really worked out. And again, I did go back to work, for those that don't know, part-time, but if I had to go back to work, really like full-time, 40 plus hours a week, it could have really hindered on us being able to be here every Friday night. So it worked out to where I'm doing journals, comics full-time. We're doing this every week, and it's been awesome. But yeah, man, I mean, we are a whole country, a whole continent apart, being on opposite coasts of a continent. But like it's I said, fun. Man, yeah, it works, and that's the beauty of this thing, right?
And, hopefully when we do first meet, it'll be some cool bash that will produce some show live, and maybe we'll get some fun people that are in the area too, like Dan De La Torre and anybody else who's in Northern California. That'd be a lot of fun. So we'll figure something out. But for now, everybody just stay safe, and things are getting a little crazy again. We want you to be healthy, happy, especially this time of year. Be with your family. As Chris says, family first. Family matters most, and all that. So again, this is really something that's meant a lot to Chris and I, to be able to come here and talk to you guys each and every week. Have some of you guys on the show. Again, Dan's been on the show. 360, Nerds Being Geeks. Who else? I mean, a ton of you guys. So we've made some good friends and had a lot of fun doing that. So, but we'll be back next Sunday, Chris, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific time. We'll remind you again. We'll have it on the Instagrams. We'll have it on, we'll have our little, our pre-show up as well. But yeah, Chris, you get final words of the week.
Be good. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves, especially this week.
Absolutely. And everybody have a very happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. We hope it's happy, healthy, and fun. So we will be back next week. Until then, we will see you. I'm not even ready for the show close. We'll see. Peace out.